welcome back to Sami J Reads. I'm Sami, and this is a place in which I read a book, I review it, and I hopefully save you from reading a terrible book. This week's book review is on a book that you guys actually requested. One of our phenomenal authors that I've already reviewed, Mr. Brett himself. Yes, you have made it back again, Mr. Brett, because you're amazing. We're going to review your Desert Spear. The Desert Spear returns to our favorite characters Rojer, Leesha, and Arlen, and we meet several new characters as they work towards fighting the corelings as well as bringing upon their own war. When we finished up The Warded Man, we have Rojer, Leesha, and Arlen bringing about a new way of life. Instead of taking the defensive position against the corelings, we are now taking an offensive position, and this helps open up a new lifestyle in the second book. However, this actually isn't the first time someone's taking the offensive position towards the corelings. In The Warded Man, we briefly meet a society that takes the offensive against the corelings. In the Desert Spear, we reapproach the society and we see it from a new perspective. We see it from a new character, SamiJReads. We briefly meet Jardir in The Warded Man, and he instantly comes off as a very unlikable individual. Whether you're living with them, or you communicate with them, or when you're reading about him, you don't really like him. Yet we start the novel of The Desert Spear off on his life, and we see his upbringing, and we come to find out how he came to be who he is in the end. Now, when I first started reading The Desert Spear and I found out that I wasn't going to read about either Arlen, Leesha, or Rojer, I was a little disheartened. I was really looking forward to reading about them again. As I continued to read, I really grew attached to Jardir. You end up sort of having a heart for him, and part of you goes, oh, why do I have to like you? But at the same time, you're going, oh, I like you because I understand what you've gone through now. I recently just watched the film 300. That first beginning about how the main character is raised and he's put out onto his own and he wasn't raised in the best situations to make him into a fighter, I was instantly reminded of Jardir and his entire society on how they raised their boys into be fighters and men and soldiers, whatever they need them to be. I sat there thinking, I want this director to direct The Desert Spear. In the end, you really end up caring about Jardir, even though part of you really does not want to, with how he behaves and how he acts and what he wants to do. But it's not Jardir who's running the entire scene. You find out that there's another character that's actually very manipulative. Along with the introduction of Jardir, we meet a lot of new faces along with a lot of familiar faces. I really enjoyed about having Brett reintroduce characters from The Warded Man that were very minor, was that it took the phrase, it's a small world after all, and it applied it to that world. That, yes, you meet this character once and you think you're never going to see them again, yet you do see them again, and they actually become more important than you think. We have the reappearance of Rina, who is the young little girl that Arlen was originally supposed to marry. She's a character that I'm very mixed about. I don't know if I really like her, I don't know if I really hate her. Sometimes I like her, sometimes I'm going, no, I just want to shake her and scream some sense into her head at times. So to save you from thinking that the entire Desert Spear is focused on Jardir, it's not. It's about half of it, and Jardir then gets mixed in with everyone else. I am thankful for that because we all grew to love and care for Arlen, Leesha, and Rojer, so why wouldn't you want to read about them and see what they've come to do in the time past since the first novel, and find out what they're going to do next. I was really excited to see Arlen again. With this book, by learning about Jardir's past, you end up seeing his interactions with Arlen, and you find out what had happened to cause any tension between these two characters. You find out what happened to Arlen when he disappeared from the cities to go basically fight and train himself out in the wild. How he came to be the Warded Man that everyone thinks is the deliverer. Finally, my other favorite parts that I enjoyed was the small tidbits that are going to lead into the third novel, The Daylight War. In The Warded Man, we have this original thought that the corelings are just some basic, sort of mindless creatures, and they're associated with the four elements: earth, water, wind, and fire. Yet in The Desert Spear, we come to find out that the corelings actually have a working society. We meet two princes that are observing and watching and planning on how to make their next move against the humans. After meeting these intelligent corelings, I am excited to find out what's going to happen in the Daylight War, to meet more of them, to find out more about their own society and culture, and then see how they react towards our characters, as well as see what happens between Leesha, Arlen, Rojer, and Jardir as a fight, a war is going to break out at some point in time. So Mr. Brett, I am looking forward to seeing this fantastic chase scene that you've mentioned in the Daylight War, and I look forward to reading your next novel. So that's it on Sami J Reads. If you have read The Desert Spear by Mr. Peter V. Brett, go ahead, comment down below with what you liked, you hated, what you would have preferred to have happen. I don't know, but I am pretty sure most of you enjoyed it. If you have a book that you want me to read, review, and do the whole shebang, go ahead, comment down below, message me, or contact me in any way, and I'll check out the book and review it. If you want to see more book reviews, go ahead and subscribe up above, and I will see you guys every Thursday. I'm Sammy, and I will see you guys on the other side of the book. Check out my awesome new shirt that I got from NDK this past weekend. It's like totally sweet and awesome. Yeah. Let's get out of there, please. Kitty! It like took seconds. It's okay. She's coming. Hi. That much. Screen? That's the turn.
It's recording now.
Yeah. Beads, painting, insignias on our cleavage. Yeah. Zoom in.
Ooh, don't make her laugh, it bumps her chest.
I know.
It'd be just like Jonah to walk in right now.
I can see it. Funny.
I'd be like, oh, hi. He'd be like, oh, I'll do it.
B, I know you're a very careful artist, but we have to leave soon if we're gonna make the panel.
I think it looks dandy.
Now is not the time to font.
You leave my fonting out of this.
Don't insult the fountain.
There we go. Now it's not as close. Yay! Yeah, and then let's see. I read the entire Mistborn trilogy, which was phenomenal. I didn't like the end. Like the last two, it got more political, and I was like, eh. Well, yeah, really in the last. I felt like it was just dragging along.
Sage. That was pretty awesome.
Well, no, it was Sazed, and then Tensoon. Tensoon was my other favorite.
Tensoon was awesome.
Hands down.
Okay, so I didn't film very much. I'm sorry, you guys. So you probably never ever see this footage unless I decide to post it someday in the future. Who knows? But anyways, I'm back home from the convention. As you can see, I have a new hat. It has long ears. Yeah, it's totally awesome. Yeah, just got out of my contacts and changed out of my assassin outfit. Started looking for pictures, found a couple already, and we'll probably find another 50 bajillion of them because there was at least like 100 bajillion pictures taken of Shelby and myself, because who would not want to take pictures of sexy assassins from Assassin's Creed?